is a lifetime when it's measured by an NBA clock. When does a fraction of a second become too much time? Ask the Indiana Pacers and the Orlando Magic. They discovered the answers 2 days ago.
28.4 seconds remaining in the fourth. They are on their feet at Market Square Arena. Rick Ryan saw for three. Indiana has one timeout left, down to 10 seconds. Miller taking the shot. Will be remembered as one of the greatest playoff game endings of all time. But the clock continues to tick. Time is running out for one of these teams. The question is, which one?
This is the NBA on NBC. The 1995 NBA playoffs. Tonight, it's Game 5 of the Eastern Conference Finals between the Indiana Pacers and the Orlando Magic.
The scene is shifted back to Orlando for Game 5 of what has become a stirring best of 7 Eastern Conference Final. Better than 16,000 turning out of the Orlando Arena, hoping the Magic can take advantage of their home court. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albin along Matt Gugas, and the storyline of this series has revolved around the ability of Shaquille O'Neal to remain on the court. He's been hard hit by foul difficulty the past 2 games and has had a problem remaining in the ball game. We talked about that with Shaquille and Indiana coach Larry Brown.
You know, I think he's going out and he's become so aggressive that he's not even considering the fact that he has to stay in the ball game. He's aggressive offensively, he's aggressive defensively, and there's sometimes I think you have to back off.
I was kind of upset. I really didn't, concentrate like I should have. But tonight, I'm gonna look to concentrate, shoot the ball well, go out, play aggressive, play hard, and I hope we can get a win at home.
I think Shaq is trying too hard to make things happen at the offensive end, and he is letting the officials get to him. Now in games 1 and 2, Shaq's calm and collected play led to more minutes, better foul shooting, and 35 a game. But in games 3 and 4, early foul trouble led to major frustration. But for the Magic to get back on track, Shaquille O'Neal has to find a way to stay out of foul trouble.
And Rick Smith has certainly emerged during the course of these playoffs, Matt. In the past, it was thought he was firmly entrenched in the second rung, the second tier of quality NBA centers, but the way he's played, he is knocking on the door of the game's elite.
And Rick's game is primarily scoring, but his defense is just as important in Game 4. And he was able to stay out of foul trouble in the first half, and there he gets shoved as Shaq picked up one of his early fouls. And then Rick, in the right place, goes scrolling to draw number 6 on the frustrated O'Neal. And with 1.3 to go, he had time to pump fake and calmly drain the shot to even up the series. And for the Pacers to get a win here in Orlando, Rick Smith will have to be very solid at both ends of the floor.
All right, when we come back, Bob Costas will take a look at the Western Conference Finals as we get ready for Game 5 between the Pacers and the Magic.
Bob Costas in New York. Tip-off in Orlando for Game 5 just a few minutes away. Game 6 in the Western Conference Finals will be tomorrow night in Houston. The Rockets continued the strange streak of road wins last night at the Alamo Dome. San Antonio, meanwhile, continued to try to deal with the peculiarities of Dennis Rodman, held out of the starting lineup after being late to practice on Monday. Later he said he had a touch of the flu. It didn't matter on this night, though. The Spurs didn't have anybody who could stop Akeem, who finished with his third 40-point game of the series, continually taking it right at David Robinson. They established control early, never trailed. The Dream received plenty of support, particularly from Sam Cassell. 22 of his 30 came in the second half. On this next play, they will combine efforts, a little give and go, in a pivotal third-quarter run, and the defending champs moved within one game of the NBA Finals in a series in which the home team is yet to win a game.
We would like to change that thought that, this has been a strange series where both teams can win at home. We were not afraid to lose. We played with confidence. We played team basketball. We were relaxed, and it was natural.
Man, Dream, the 1-2 punch. Not Clyde and Dream, Sam and Dream.
We have no pride. It's, I mean, we're just trying to win. I mean, this is after losing the first 2 games at home, I don't think there's much room for us to have a whole lot of pride.
We just need to go back to Houston, play the way we're capable, and come back here for the Western Conference Finals, Game 7, and break through and win at home. How bizarre is that statement?
Where were you yesterday? Why were you late for practice?
I don't know. Playing golf.
You don't play golf.
I know it, but that's something to tell to the people, some news.
And you will be on time for all shoot-arounds the rest of the series?
I'll be on time.
Hannah Storm interrogating Dennis Rodman after last night's game, and wouldn't you know, Rodman missed the team bus this afternoon to the Spurs practice, perhaps mistakenly boarding the one bound for Saturn. He did arrive, albeit a little late. No word on whether Rodman will start tomorrow night. At halftime this evening, we'll be joined live by Spurs guard Doc Rivers. In the meantime, we'll be heading to Orlando momentarily. Reggie Miller hoping to duplicate last year's Game 5 effort when he got 39 against the Knicks on the road in the conference finals. Shaquille O'Neal just hopes to stay on the court tonight. He's played only 5 of the last 8 quarters due to foul trouble. The Magic and Pacers coming up after these messages.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Red Dog Beer. Bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog. By Goodyear, #1 in tires. And by Acura, who invites you to test drive the exciting new TL Series.
It is a hot and humid 88-degree night in the Magic Kingdom. And in downtown Orlando, packed house at the Arena. We check out the starting lineups first for the Indiana Pacers in the backcourt. Mark Jackson, who has played so well the past 2 games, along with Reggie Miller, one of the near heroes on Monday. Rick Smith's the hero in game number 4, up front with Derek McKee and Dale Davis. And the coach of the Pacers, Larry Brown, hoping his team can solve its problems here in Orlando, with an 0-4 this season, including 2 losses in the playoffs last year. For the Orlando Magic in the backcourt, Anthony Hardaway, who had a terrific all-around performance in Game 4 on Monday with Shaquille O'Neal in the foul trouble. Shaquille hoping to bounce back from what took place in Game 4, up front with Dennis Scott and Horace Grant. And the coach of the Magic, Brian Hill, looking for his team to put aside the disheartening Game 4 defeat. And the Magic players, Matt, appear to be loose at the shoot-around earlier today.
I don't think there's any question, Mark, that they had put the Game 4 behind them, which is very wise to do, because this is the only game that matters. In talking with Reggie Miller, Larry Brown yesterday, they both said they are going to have to play, they being the Pacers, over their heads and play one of their best games of the year to win here in Orlando.
The officials, Joe Crawford, Dick Bavetta, and Ed Middleton. McKee getting the step on Horace Grant and taking that nice pass from up top from Rick Smith.
But Derek McKee continues to be very effective. Nothing flamboyant or spectacular, just getting the job done for the Pacers.
Neal facing a triple team. Hardaway not able to hit. Rebound, Shaquille. And he drew the foul. And as always,
we are joined on the sidelines by the Dean. Let's check in with Marv Rashad.
All right, Marv, a lot of people would think this team, the Orlando Magic, would be down after they lost Game 4, but that has not been the case. These guys are so loose, and they still feel like this series is theirs. I talked to Shaquille O'Neal before Game 4. He said, I'm going to play mad. Well, he played mad, and he ended up fouling out. I asked him about it today. He said, well, I'm still going to play mad, but I'm going to play smart. Marv?
Well, Shaquille O'Neal 0 for 8 at the line in Game 4 has missed on his first. So Shaquille's foul shooting difficulties continue.
And he can't worry about it, Marv. His first play was smart. However, he went into the offensive board with his hands up. If he continues to do that, he will help his team.
Mark Jackson.
Mark Jackson.
Indiana with a 4-0 lead. You know, watching Shaquille at the shoot-around as he was being watched by the shot doctor Buzz Brayman. He's just pumping him in 8, 9, 10 in a row, but obviously no pressure. O'Neal not able to hit. Here is Shaquille again.
In, out, and back in again for Shaq to get excellent position, and he just backed Smits almost out of the building.
Smits facing the double team. Jackson. Rebound, O'Neal. Hardaway checking the floor, then going all the way. Went with the left hand. O'Neal. So Shaquille has tied the game at 4.
Well, it's obvious what Shaq has on his mind, and that's not so worried so much about jump hooks and fadeaway jumpers. Is climb the offensive glass and just overpower people.
Rick Smits getting excellent possession. And the Pacers are up 6-4.
Nice move by Rick Smits to get good position in the lane to find out how deep he can get against Shaq.
Well, Nick Anderson, who has been quiet the last couple of games, not looking to force the issue, with a nice driving hook to tie it at 6. 2.5 minutes gone by in the first quarter. McKee got the step, rejected by Grant. McKee able to hang in. And it's Indiana by 2.
Well, it's been the mindset of both Mark Jackson as Penny's lost the handle for a moment, but both Jackson and McKee have been thinking drive the ball to the goal at every opportunity.
Traveling violation on Dennis Scott. So the ball back to the Pacers. Indiana has hit 4 of its first 6 shots. Orlando 3 for 6. Smits cut off by Hardaway. And that pass from Jackson not handled by Smits.
This is what Mark Jackson has been trying to do. After a double team, they are going to leave him. When he gets the ball back, he will take the open shot, but he's also been trying to penetrate, and when he does, he's been making good plays. That one was too low and too hot to handle for Smits.
Anderson picked up now by Dale Davis. Shaquille setting the pick. Smits putting the move on Anderson. Here's Shaquille. It's a nice setup from Nick Anderson of Shaquille O'Neal, who missed the initial attempt. Remember, he missed 3 dunks in Game 4 on Monday.
Already 4 offensive rebounds for Shaquille, and keeping his hands up, not pushing down low.
Nice move by Smits. And for the foul, Anderson over to help.
The foul number 1, Penny Hardaway.
Hardaway also involved. Hardaway called on the foul.
Shaq rolling on that kind of pick and roll situation, and just he's been basically almost putting the ball up softly off the rim and getting it back himself, something that Moses Malone did for so many years. It helps the rebounding average.
Matt, we touched on it at the end of Game 4. Do you feel that Shaquille should be adjusting better to the way the calls are being made? We talked to him earlier today, and he said, well, he's just going to continue playing the same way. And he also made it clear in his chat yesterday with the media that he felt Rick Smits
has been doing a lot of flopping.
Well, and he has, but he's also had position, and you got to be there to take the flops. But let's face it, Shaq is lowering the shoulder from time to time. But I think Shaq realizes he has to make an adjustment because in games 3 and 4, things definitely did not go his way.
Indiana with a 10-8 lead. Here's Horace Grant, uncontested. Horace trying to get back into the offense. In this series, he had the terrific series against his former club, the Chicago Bulls. Reggie Miller with his first field goal attempt, and it's Indiana 12, Orlando 10. So both clubs have opened up as they did the last couple of games with the hot hand. O'Neal around Smits and then popped it out. Shot clock at 7. They go back to Shaquille. His pass for Grant. Grant rejected. Dale Davis got him from behind, and it was deflected out last touch by Grant.
Well, Shaq's being very aggressive right now, but he's also seeing the floor very well. Actually, the first pass was not on target, but he knew he had a wide open man beyond the three-point line, and then a nice dump inside to Horace Grant.
Pacers have hit 5 of their first 7, make it 6 of their first 8, and Smits has opened up by hitting his first 2 shots. Pacers with a 14-10 advantage.
And that's how good a jump shooter Rick Smits is. They basically run baseline screens for their 7'4" center to shoot the 17-foot jump shot.
And Rick Smits loves the baseline. Shaquille O'Neal got the step, and he drew the foul. It's on Smits.
Orlando timeout.
Rick Smits, who can do it across the lane with hook shots. He can step out with the jumpers, and Shaquille O'Neal got caught on a pick underneath the basket. And Shaquille O'Neal with the little alley-oop spin takes his time, gets his feet set, gathers, and draws the foul on Smits.
6:44 remaining in the first.
Let's cheer on the Magic to playoff victory.
Welcome back to Orlando. When we resume, Shaquille O'Neal is headed back to the free throw line. He missed his first 2. Comes off the 0 for 8 on Monday, which puts him in a very select group with a fellow by the name of Wilt Chamberlain for poorest free throw percentages in single contest in the playoffs. Shaquille 0 for 8. Wilt 1 for 11, 1 for 10, 1 for 9, and a 2 for 17. And you go back 3 games. Buzz Brayman looking on and hoping things are turning for his prized pupil. Shaquille has missed his last 11 straight free throws.
You turned it around for him.
Absolutely. And looking back at how he has dipped. He started in red-hot fashion. In fact, in the series against Chicago, he did a good job at the free throw line, and certainly earlier in this series. Good job. That's all relative, at least for Shaquille O'Neal, who's had his problems all season. Mark Jackson for 3. Mark Jackson getting a number of open looks because of the double teams, and he has taken advantage. So Jackson extends to a 17-12 Indiana lead. Hardaway getting possession. Anthony Hardaway able to take advantage of the height that he has on Mark Jackson. 6 minutes remaining in the first quarter. 3-point Indiana lead. Brown wanted to travel on Smith. Miller for 3. Reggie Miller has hit 2 of 2. He has 5 points, and the Pacers shooting exceptionally well, lead by 6. 8 of 10 shooting for Indiana here at the start. They've hit their last 5 shots. Shaquille O'Neal. And last touch by Dale Davis.
Good job by Dale Davis to block out on Horace Grant, but the fact that Horace kept working on the offensive glass kept Dale Davis from getting a good 2 hands on the rebound.
5.5 remaining in this first quarter. Grant. Well, that's a rare opportunity. Horace had some daylight from the outside.
Well, that's when he'll get it. When one of the guards posts up, that puts Horace at the top. And when Dale Davis went off to double-team Penny Hardaway, you could tell Horace almost shot that before it went in his hands. His eyes were big.
The double team leading to the steal by Anderson. Magic trailing by 4 points. Scott off the dribble, then lost it. At the step. Jackson with a nice move to get around Grant. Delivers to Miller. Passed on the 3. Going for the 2. And for the foul. So Reggie Miller.
The foul number 3, Dennis Scott.
Fouled by Dennis Scott.
His first.
You mentioned a nice move by Mark Jackson to elude Horace Grant in the backcourt as Grant tried to jam him. And one of the few fast breaks for Indiana. They feel there are a lot there for the taking, but they want to be selective with them and just take them every once in a while because, as we've said throughout this series, the Pacers do not want to get in a helter-skelter up-and-down game with the Magic, especially on this floor.
Reggie Miller, 8 for 16, 23-point game. In game 4, had 5 from downtown and off to the good start here. 7 points for Reggie. And the Pacers lead 22-16. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad from the Orlando Arena. Game 5 of the best of 7. The series tied at 2. Shaquille gave it up. Grant got bottled up and lost it.
Well, once again, Shaq getting that good position by throwing the ball back out, reestablishing, but he's really seeing the floor very well. He's been offensive-minded, but he's also aware of where his teammates are on the floor. A lot different than his approach in Game 4. He was just thinking score, score, score every time he touched the ball.
Smits. Well, this time from the left baseline. Now, the Pacers have hit their last 6 shots. They lead by 8. We come up on 4 minutes to go in the first. They collapse on Shaquille. Hardaway for 3. Rebound Grant puts it right back up. Rebound comes to Jackson. And again, the Pacers look to run. McKee from Jackson, beautifully done. Mark Jackson pushing it down, and Indiana has a 10-point lead. They've hit their last 7 shots, and it leads to a timeout for the Magic.
Orlando.
So the Pacers 10 of 12 from the field here in this first quarter, including the last 7 straight.
Well, Rick Smith has been facing the onslaught from Shaquille O'Neal. He figures every opportunity he gets, he should take the chance. Shaquille not getting back on defense, a little weary here, and the Pacers take advantage of wide open spaces for Jackson and McKee.
Visit the Orlando Magic fan and anomaly stand.
Well, one of the keys to Indiana turning things around is in the play of this man, Mark Jackson, who started the series slowly but played very well the last 2 games. Game 3, 13 assists. Game 4 Monday had a terrific all-around game. We talked with Mark about his turnaround.
Going into Game 3, I said to myself, I can't wait for the opportunities. I have to create opportunities, and that being spot-up jumpers off double-teaming Rick, that being penetration, creating for myself or creating for my teammates. That's where we have to get our shots, and they're trying to say Derek McKee, Mark Jackson beat us, and in a sense, that's a little bit of disrespect. You have to look at it that way. You have to have a game plan, and you can't knock them. Maybe if we were them, we'd think the same way, but Derek and I have to step up and do our job accordingly.
And besides Mark's assists and scoring, where he has really helped the Pacers, is on the boards. 7 rebounds in each of the last 2 games.
And he's opened up in this first quarter with 3 assists. The Pacers, with a 10-point lead, is taking on the shades of Game 1 of this series. Remember, Indiana was up 23-5, and then Orlando able to turn it around. Dale Davis on the mismatch. Rick Smith with the follow. And the Pacers lead 28-16, and Smith with 10 points here at the start. So Shaquille O'Neal attempted to come out aggressively, but Smits again has done the job. Anderson off on that 3-point attempt. And McKee on the ball. 3-on-2. Jackson behind the back from Miller for 3. Scott able to get to it.
Well, the Magic are very aware that they're not shooting the ball right now, but going to the offensive board. But when the rebound comes long, it is really giving the Pacers some easy running opportunities.
And Middleton with the call on Shaquille O'Neal. It's an offensive foul.
Well, so far, I think both of the big men have been relatively cautious. There, a little hook by Shaquille O'Neal with the left arm, and I mean a little one, as Shaq doing the right thing, showing no emotion and showing no disgust in the call, something he was unable to pull off in Game 3 and 4.
Antonio Davis, who just checked in for Rick Smits, went right at Shaquille O'Neal, looking to draw the foul. That has been the plan of Larry Brown. Scott rejected. And let's see what the call is here. It is a foul on the Pacers.
The foul, number 9, Derek McKee.
It's on McKee.
Antonio Davis, this is the way he wants to play against Shaquille. Find that little seam and try to drive at him, try to draw contact. But Shaq very smartly just going straight up in the air to avoid contact and keep the outstretched arm there. You know, it's hard to tell your big guys, both Rick Smits and Shaquille O'Neal, play cautiously because you want them to be aggressive, you want them to be active, you want to play their normal game in such a crucial game. But they do have to be cautious because they've been both in such major foul trouble throughout this series. Both of them came into this game with 19 personal fouls each.
And Shaquille will sit down for a spell. Jeff Turner has checked in. The 8-0 run by Indiana coming to a close. 10-point lead for the Pacers. McKee pulling the hook shot out of the arsenal. He's 4 out of 5 for 8 points.
That's the old Mark Jackson to Patrick Ewing pass on that screen across play when they were teammates with the New York Knicks.
Orlando's gone over 3 minutes without a field goal. 1:45 to go in this first quarter. Pacers up 30-18. And Hardaway had it deflected away. It'll be Orlando ball with 7 on the 24. Brian Shaw checking in for the first time. Nick Anderson departed. Sam Mitchell, Haywood Workman from Mark Jackson, and Dale Davis.
7 seconds to shoot. 7.
Brian Shaw hit the big jump shot that appeared to be a game winner, but there were 3 more shots to come on Monday.
Eons to go.
And here is Shaw. Just to beat the 24. Actually, Brian Shaw played exceptionally well in Game 4. 13 minutes of play. With 2 tee shots, 3-pointer, and 1 from 2-point land. 5 assists for Shaw. Antonio Davis getting possession. And a foul call on Jeff Turner.
Well, I don't think any shot doctor ever taught Brian Shaw this kind of form on the shot, but with the shot clock winding down, he did not have a lot of choices. Falling back, kicking out, and maybe he's still hot from that last one in Game 4.
Pacers 30, the Magic 20. We approach 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. McKee. And he drew the foul. Derek McKee looking very offensive-minded, which you know pleases his coach, Larry Brown. Foul assault on Hardaway, trying to help out. That's the second for Anthony Hardaway.
And he is not doing this against just some ordinary big forward defensive player. This is one of the best in the business. Horace Grant, who knows the tendency of all the good forwards. Now, keep in mind, Derek McKee, during the regular season, is considered a small forward, believe it or not. There you see his numbers, the bad shooting percentage against the New York Knicks, and much improved here, but it's mainly because he is taking the ball to the basket. But he is considered a small forward, and Horace Grant normally would play a Dale Davis against his team and doesn't see Derek McKee that often, but Derek is showing him his repertoire.
Derek in foul trouble throughout that Knicks series. He fouled out of 2 of the games. Just under 1 minute remaining in this first quarter. 32-20, Indiana. Turner for Shaw with no hesitation. Oh, he is on fire. And it's carryover from Monday.
It's been such a difficult season for Brian in terms of shooting from the perimeter. The 3-point shot down around 25-26%. The field goal down 36. Has to make him feel good and start nailing some jumpers.
Offensive foul on McKee. And just a moment ago, Brian Shaw able to tee it up And a hit from downtown.
Set up on the dribble penetration by Jeff Turner. A bit of a careless pass. But when you are hot, it doesn't matter. You can pick it off your shoot top sometimes and fling it in.
Replacing Derek McKee.
And now Dwayne Farrell comes on for Derek McKee. Dwayne Farrell getting some playing time the other day. Has not seen much action in this series. 9-point lead for the Pacers. Now the 20 seconds of the quarter. 4-second differential between the game clock and the 24. Shaw handling against Workman. Shot clock down to 5. Anderson to the drive. Anderson on the follow. And the foul. With 6 seconds remaining. First quarter.
While the Magic trying to work the clock down to get that last shot, but Nick Anderson finding that little opening was met in there, forced to take a tough shot, but the Magic looked like they made a conscious effort to come into this game and be offensive rebound minded. They are following every shot.
Final seconds of the quarter. Workman getting it down in a hurry. So Orlando with a good finish to the first quarter. They were down by as many as 12. Rick Smith opening up strong. 4 of 4 from the field, 10 points, along with 3 assists. The Pacers, 12 of 18 shooting in this opening quarter. Indiana by 6. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
You're watching the 1995 NBA playoffs on NBC.
Indiana Pacer head coach, or rather assistant coach, Gar Hurd, who can certainly relate to the shot by Rick Smits in Game 4 on Monday. Smits with the game winner right at the buzzer. And that certainly reminded many of a shot taken by Garfield Hurd as a member of the Phoenix Suns against the Boston Celtics. Game 5 of the 76 NBA Championship. Celtics leading by 2 with 1 second to go in the second overtime. And Gar Hurd hit the shot at the buzzer that set the game to triple overtime, and the Celtics went on to win it 128-126 in 3 overtime. Boston won that series 4 games to 2, winning the NBA championship.
I remember watching that game and all the ups and downs, the unbelievable shots at the finish. One time, I forget which team it was, called an illegal timeout, and one of the officials just turned their head. I think it was Richie Powers.
Pacers by 6 as this second quarter gets underway. Foul call on Hayward Workman.
His first team foul.
His first. Donald Royal on the floor for the first time for Orlando. He will inbound. Shaquille O'Neal has returned. Shaquille with 1 personal foul. Got off to the fast start, 8 points and 5 rebounds.
Good defensive job by the Pacers there. The side out of bounds play was for Nick Anderson, but by denying Jeff Turner, kept him out of it, but Shaq takes care of business.
Very aggressive move going right at Antonio Davis.
Foul number 3, Hayward Workman.
Shaq looks so focused, so in tune with the game. Not going to let anything bother you. Saw a little hack on his wrist as he took it strong and finished, and really keeping his emotions under control.
Foul was called on Workman, trying to help out. This time O'Neal tried to line drive it, and apparently a lane violation. And another opportunity. If you're Shaquille O'Neal, maybe that's not such a good thing.
Well, actually, Jeff Turner, by timing it very well and stepping in there maybe a hair too soon, drew the Pacers in as well, and they'll give Shaq another crack at it.
He is 2 of 4 at the line and not able to take advantage. Orlando with an 8-0 run that goes back to the first quarter. Mark Jackson is back at point guard. Jackson and Miller at the guard. Smits, Mitchell, and Farrell up front. They double up on Smits. Finding Farrell. Try to stuff it.
No basket.
Basket won't count. Foul before
Foul number 5,
the shot.
Royal.
Called on Royal. That is
first team
his
foul.
first. Donald Royal making it back from that sprained ankle, losing his starting job. Dennis Scott taking over as the starter and had the hot hand, and he's remained in the starting lineup.
Well, Larry Brown not afraid to go relatively deep into his bench for the playoffs. None of those players, maybe with the exception of Antonio Davis, will get major minutes, but everybody out there ready to contribute anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes a game. And what it does is give people like McKee, Miller, and Smits valuable rest.
33-28, 5-point Indiana lead with a minute gone by in the second quarter. Anderson, good post-up move. Nick Anderson, very offensive conscious here at the start. 7 points for Anderson. And the Indiana lead is now 3. They've led by as many as 12. Miller came off the pick. Miller lost it. Shaw leading Royal. And the foul, Smits reaching in.
The foul on number 45, Rick Smits.
And that's the second on Smits.
Reggie Miller trying to force things, coming off this screen, kind of knife between Jeff Turner and Shaquille O'Neal, really with the intention of just trying to draw a foul, but actually lost the ball himself. And I'm sure Larry Brown extremely upset with the fact that Rick Smits picking up a foul on Donald Royal. And I guess everybody is still looking for where that foul was. Rick probably hurt himself by jumping in the air, but he seemed to have Donald Royal under control, but it looked like no contact there.
And a rare appearance for a one-time member of the Orlando Magic, Greg Kite, takes it on the inbounds. So Kite has come on. Smits departing after collecting his second foul. Mitchell. And here comes Royal. Donald Royal with the acceleration. Orlando leading by one, a 14-1 run. And this is the first time that they have led. Shot clock at 4. Jackson won't count. Shot waved off.
Officials timeout.
Foul before the shot attempt. A bump indicated on that man, Brian Shaw.
And this is what Donald Royal has done so well for the Magic for the last 3 seasons. In the open floor, he is going to go right to the rim at every time. Reggie Miller knew it, didn't know how to get out of the way, and Royal beat him.
9:47 remaining in the second.
Akeem and the Rockets face Robinson and the Spurs. Game 6 Thursday. The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By MGM, presenting the sci-fi thriller of the summer. Species starts Friday, July 7th at theaters everywhere. And by Microsoft, the leader in software. Where do you want to go today?
It is a beautiful 85-degree day in Orlando. And our NBA coverage will continue tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Game 6 of the Western Conference Final. Very strange series between San Antonio and Houston. A series of home court disadvantage. And coming up at halftime tonight, Bob Costas and the Prudential halftime report will be talking with Doc Rivers of the San Antonio Spurs. Almost a year ago, Doc recovering from injury, watching his Knicks involved in the NBA Finals against the Rockets. Now as a member of the Spurs trying to help his club come back from that 3-2 deficit against Houston. Doc Rivers at halftime with Bob. And a foul on Donald Royal. That is his second. Byron Scott on the floor for the first time. He was tripped up.
And with this group on the floor for Indiana, they are really going to struggle for offensive opportunities. Rick Smits going out at the 10:32 mark of the second quarter with his second foul. Nothing unusual there. Now Reggie Miller out for his first rest after playing the first 14 minutes, but hard to find offense with the group there.
And the offensive foul is called. Dick Pavetta made the call down low. And Dwayne Farrell got involved with Donald Royal this time against Farrell. So the ball back to the Magic. They have been on fire, trailing by as many as 12, a 14-1 run. And they have the lead for the first time tonight. That was intended for Shaquille. Jackson leading the break. Jackson going all the way and fouled, held by Turner.
But this is the one way that this Pacer group can find some offense, is with their defense and create a couple of running opportunities. Shaq was wide open here as Greg Kite couldn't get back, but Mark Jackson stabbing it out of the air, forcing the action and able to draw the hard foul from Jeff Turner. Even though Larry Brown does not want to get in an up-and-down game, he's going to have to with this group on the floor if they can do it with their defense, with steals, with forcing turnovers, and with defensive rebounds.
Mark Jackson spent 5 years as a member of the Knicks, 2 as a member of the LA Clippers. Certainly no pinwheel effect as we saw at Market Square, but an animated hand in the midst of the attempt to bother Mark Jackson.
Another ruling in order.
That fall under hand checking as Rob Thorne takes a look at the animated waving hand. They double up on Shaquille. A steal by Mitchell and a foul call.
The foul number 31, Jeff Turner.
With a quick
third penalty situation.
And it puts the Magic over the limit.
Well, aggressive defensive hands by the Pacers there as Sam Mitchell had I should say Byron Scott heading out front would have been the easy layup, but the foul by Jeff Turner to at least prevent that, but the Magic over the limit in the penalty, so Sam Mitchell will go to the line.
Sam Mitchell in his 6th NBA season, spent 3 years with Minnesota. It's his 3rd with Indiana. And Brian Shaw hearing it from the crowd as he departs along with Jeff Turner, Penny Hardaway, Horace Grant are back. Sam Mitchell came to the Pacers in the Chuck Person, Pooh Richardson trade for Minnesota back in September of '92. Sam hitting 1 of 2 at the line, so the Pacers are up 36-34. 8.5 left in this first half. Anderson backing Farrell. O'Neal all fouled by the man he used to go against on a regular basis in practice.
and used to foul him on a regular basis, which never pleased Shaq too much. Greg fundamentally getting the body, but Shaq just worming his way in there and getting inside position on Greg, and then all Greg is thinking about is hack, grab, slash, maim, anything to keep Shaq from getting to the basket.
So Shaquille 2 of 5 at the line. Firing a brick.
Number 32, Dale Davis.
Would you say in this stretch, and this, Matt, comes after a situation where it seemed he had at least temporarily solved the free throw problems earlier in the series, is this as bad as he has looked at the foul line?
The shots are not looking good leaving his hands. There's no question about that. The rotation is different. Maybe the grip has slipped. It's one of those things that Buzz Braman was talking about. You know, it's going to come and go. It's putting Band-Aids on it right now, but certainly not out of the woods by any means.
Indiana with a 1-point lead. 4 minutes in. Second quarter. Kite setting the pick. They are pretty confident Kite will not take any shots. Kept alive by Dale Davis. Jackson with the teardrop and the foul. Mark Jackson.
The foul number 25.
With the shot that he loves. Little flip, which he has labeled the teardrop.
Well, Dale Davis looked like he had a dunk situation here. He's bothered by that sure shoulder, but both Dale Davis and Kite working the boards very well caused that ball to pop back out to Mark Jackson. We've been talking of what a major contributor he was in the Indiana wins in game 3 and 4 and in every phase. And he's playing with a great deal of confidence right now as well.
And he has 10 points and 4 assists. Pacers 39. The Magic 35. That's a 3 for Nick Anderson. Anderson with 10. And the Indiana lead is 1. Jackson setting it up against Hardaway. Scott off the pick. Kite comes out to set the screen. Shot clock at 5. McKee has to fire it. Slapped by Shaquille. And last touch, let's see. Ed Middleton was about to call it one way. Joe Crawford the other, leading to this discussion.
Jump ball.
And the officials, Eddie Middleton was sure he had a one-way as both Greg Kite and Shaq went for it. And I think this is the best call. Eddie Middleton had a good view of this. Joe Crawford thought he had it off Shaq, and they got the right call anyway.
Anderson control. Indiana Pacers have gone the last few minutes without Rick Smits and Reggie Miller. They're maintaining the 1-point lead. Here's Shaquille. Royal with the follow. Donald Royal with his second bucket. Orlando by 1.
Well, Donald Royal has been desperate to try to make some kind of contribution to get more playing time. He wants to get out on the floor and do something, and he has been an effective player for Orlando. And there's the goaltend.
Rick Kite with a rare shot opportunity, and it will count.
Well, Greg has put a lot of time and hours in with his hook shots, even the left one there. And that one had a chance of going in, and it was definitely on the way down. Greg right now is absolutely exhausted. He has just not gotten a lot of run, so he's not in the best shape in the world.
And Shaquille draws the foul. Greg Kite playing for only the second time in this series. The Indiana Pacers, his 7th team in his 12 seasons in the NBA. The foul called on Kite. We'll be right back.
The defending champion Rockets are a win away from the NBA Finals. Now Mr. Robinson and the Spurs have to come up big in a do-or-die road game. Thursday on NBC.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal coming off the 0 for 8 at the line on Monday. 3 for 7 at the line tonight as he gets set to go to the line once again. We talked with Shaq earlier today about his free throw shooting problems, and he insists that it's just a one-game aberration.
I've been consistent, and it's not problems. It's just one game. So I'm just going to, be looking to turn things around. So if I go up and concentrate, I'll be okay.
And Matt, everyone getting into the act. The last time Shaquille was at the free throw line, these are members of Shaquille's family with a little helpful hint.
Well, with all the exposure that Buzz Brayman gets, everybody wants to be a shot doctor.
All right, bend your knees is the suggestion from Shaq's family representation. So the knees are bent. Nicely done. There you go. Works.
Buzz, of course, is watching for about 2 or 3 little key areas. The bending of the knees, the grip. And that was not a particularly good grip, but got it in anyway. And the extension of the arm, and it's coming back a little bit too far. But when it goes in, who cares?
Orlando with a 1-point lead. We're halfway through the second quarter. Byron Scott with his first shot attempt. He's been off. And back comes Hardaway. Anderson looking offensive-minded. Nice pass. And another foul. That won't count. So O'Neal held on the play.
The foul
Let's take a look at Shaq's grip here a little bit. Pretty good with the two fingers splitting the needle mark there. But what's going to happen here is this arm is going to go way back this way. And that catapult effect with a little extra move with the wrist there. And it's a little bit surprising how that one went in.
Well, I think Shaquille has caught fire at the line. Both clubs are over the foul limit. He's hit 4 in a row. He is 6 of 10.
I think you've got it, Mark.
Orlando 44, Indiana 41. Meanwhile, Greg Kite has picked up 3 fouls in a hurry. A long rest for Rick Smits after he collected his second. Derek McKee got possession, could not convert. Dennis Scott being played now by Dale Davis. Kite remains on O'Neal. Scott for 3. Whoa, air ball. Dennis Scott has not been happy about his shooting the last couple of games. Once again today, out early, pumping from three-point land. And the hot hand earlier in the series, although did have an 8 for 14, 22 points in game 4, but unhappy about the 2 of 6 from downtown.
And he was working on his little jump hook in a post-up position before the game quite a bit, thinking he's going to get some of those opportunities. We mentioned Smits has 2. Antonio Davis with only 1 personal foul. A little surprised why he's not getting more playing time.
Kite. And a foul is called. Greg Kite getting the minutes for the first time in the playoffs for Indiana, and he drew the foul. It's on Horace Grant.
And Shaq getting a little leverage there, pushing on Greg Kite's back. They're used to doing that to one another. Greg just can't get the lift to get that up there. Greg struggles with his free throw shooting. I mentioned it. Greg is not in the best of condition, and it's not for lack of work. He'll put all the time in the world on the track, running around the floor, working on his game. And Greg Kite getting that first one down, but it has been a career-long struggle for him at the line. 2 for 2 here.
And this season he was 2 for 10 at the free throw line. Perhaps free throw shooting is turning around at both ends. Shaquille O'Neal has found the touch, and Kite goes to the line and hits on both. Jackson with the steal. We're just under 5 minutes to go in the half. Byron Scott decides to pull it back, and Larry Brown wants to talk it over. Timeout taken. 4:42 to go in this first half. It's the Magic 44 and the Pacers 43. We'll be back in Orlando in a moment.
Here's what's coming up on the Prudential Halftime Report. We'll be joined live by the Spurs' Doc Rivers. He'll tell us about the Spurs living on the brink. They trail the Rockets 3-2 in the Western Conference Finals. Game 6 tomorrow night in Houston. We'll also get the thoughts of Julius Erving and Peter Bessie on that series and on tonight's game in Orlando. The Magic are in front as we head back to the Arena to rejoin Marv, Matt, and Ahmad.
Thank you, Bob. 4:42 remaining in this first half, and Matt, as you know, I just hate these type of self-serving situations.
Well, just as we saw Shaq's family with signs, I think it was very nice of you to fly your family down to bring their own sign.
But as you know, they did not suggest that I bend my knees. 4.5 remaining in this first half. Jackson gets the new 24 for Indiana. Magic 44 and the Pacers 43. It's game 5 of the best of 7. The series tied at 2. Scott was trying to hit Davis with that pass. Game 6 back in Indiana on Friday night. We'll have it for you in prime time, 9 o'clock Eastern time from Market Square Arena. Anderson had it knocked away. And the Indiana Pacers have gone nearly 7 minutes without Rick Smits and Reggie Miller. And Reggie Miller got off to the fast start.
7 points for Miller. Rick Smits, 4 of 4, 10 points. Picked up 2 fouls. We have not seen him since then. Here is Horace Grant. And Magic leading by 3.
And that's normal procedure for Larry Brown and Rick Smith. Whenever he gets 2 personal fouls, he will sit out the rest of the first half. Keeping Reggie Miller out a little bit longer. He may get in before the half is over, but as long as the game is somewhat within reach, it's a close game, I think Larry Brown is somewhat satisfied at this point.
Hardaway for 3. Yes. Anthony Hardaway has had the hot hand from downtown. He is now 13 for 25 from three-point land in the series.
And Coach Larry Brown no longer satisfied getting Reggie Miller up to check in.
Eric McKee with the spin. And he was pushed. Foul on Grant. That is his second.
That teardrop jumper again as Horace Grant, the rebound, the kick out. As Penny Hardaway has been extremely aggressive. Anytime he is bringing the ball out of the backcourt in a transition situation, I think he is thinking shot first and looking for the three-pointers, the perimeter shots, figuring that that will open up penetration for him as the game wears on. And that's where, again, he can do quite a bit of damage himself and also get his teammates some good scoring opportunities.
Eric McKee hitting on both. He has 12 points. He's missed his last 5 shots, looking very offensive-minded. 49-45. Orlando with the lead. Just under 3 minutes to go in the half. Well, Reggie Miller is back on the floor after the long stint on the bench. What a move by Hardaway in traffic. 6-point Magic lead. Greg Kite getting a long run. At first, Antonio Davis came on for Rick Smith. Here is Dale Davis. Kite with the rebound, recovered by Davis. Jackson challenging O'Neal, and the foul is called.
The foul, number 32, Shaquille O'Neal.
It's on Shaquille. That's his second.
Wow, what a quick move by Penny Hardaway on a little isolation against the best defensive player on the Indiana Pacers. They had sensed a play for Hardaway, and they put McKee on him. But this is what Penny noticed at the end of Game 4, that when McKee is on him, he had told us that he is going to try to take the ball to the basket more and more, and that's how he can do it. What a quick spin move by Anthony Hardaway.
Jackson is 4 for 4 at the line. Pacers have gone cold in the second quarter. They've hit only 2 of 13. Mark Jackson facing the effect from behind the basket. It has not bothered Mark, obviously. And Indiana has missed its last 6 shots. Magic 51, Pacers 47 with 2:15 remaining in the first half. Scott played by Miller. Shot clock is to 7. O'Neal banging with Kite and hit it. 16 for Shaquille, along with 9 rebounds. The Magic up 53-47. Jackson calling out the play. It's a pick and roll for Kite, and his pass, a weak one, picked off. Shaquille O'Neal leading the break, all the way, and he drew the foul. Rammed with one of the technicians, one of the cameramen, behind the basket, and then making sure that he was okay.
Well, how about Reggie Miller trying to stop this play? And no way, he just ran right through that tackle. The arm tackle will not get it done. And that was one of our taller technicians. Wound up taking the charge on Shaq way after the play.
Well, that's NBC cameraman Dave Atkins. Now, we knew he's a tough guy, but showed us a lot on that one.
I don't think he'll want to do that again, however.
Shot clock at 7. Miller to the left hand. Kite able to keep it alive. Miller for three. Rebounded by Grant. Orlando wants to run. Indiana getting back. Hardaway for O'Neal, who was upset with Kite, and a flagrant foul called by Joe Crawford. Now, Matt, as you mentioned earlier, as the one-time coach of Shaquille O'Neal and Greg Kite, saw many testy practice sessions between these two.
Oh, 5 a day. This is normal procedure for these two here. Greg is already grabbing. He's just holding Shaq, not trying to hurt him, just trying to commit a foul before he catches the ball. Shaq didn't like it 3 years ago. He doesn't like it any better today, or tonight, I should say. But Greg Kite knew he was in trouble, knew the ball was coming. And the definition there is excessive contact. And even though Greg is arguing that he was not trying to hurt him, he was just trying to commit somewhat of an intentional foul to put Shaq on the line, it's an accurate call by the referee, given the letter of the rule.
Number 33, Antonio Davis.
Shaquille is now 8 of 13 at the line. And he's hit 7 of his last 8. Ironically, Greg Kite, who played here in Orlando, still makes his home in the Orlando area. A man who's made the round. Boston, Charlotte, LA Clippers, Sacramento, Orlando. Spent some time with the Knicks earlier this season when Herb Williams was injured, and now a member of the Indiana Pacers, but has not seen much playing time. Shaquille O'Neal sitting down with 1:02 to go in this first half, and the Magic up 56-47.
And now Antonio Davis in, but it's a mystery to me, Mark, why he sat so long. He did not have a good stint in his first time into the ball game, and I don't know if it's an injury situation or Larry Brown was upset with something, and for a while there, the Pacers were able to buy some time with both Smits and Miller on the bench, and Greg Kite was active, and Larry Brown not all that concerned with Greg Kite picking up fouls in this first half.
And he picked up 4 in the second quarter. Foul was called on Dale Davis, his second
penalty situation in effect.
Well, Harris has been more drive conscious in this ball game, looking for a little bit opening there. Early in the ball game, he caught one at the top of the key and a little pump fake and drove right to the basket, which is not really something that Horace Grant does a lot of. But the Magic have been very aggressive in just about every phase as far as taking the ball to the basket and getting to the offensive glass in this first half.
Horace Grant making his first appearance at the line. Sam Mitchell back replacing Dale Davis. Donald Royal did a nice job earlier this first half. Comes on for Jeff Turner. Orlando turning it around with the good shooting in the second quarter. They've hit 10 of 13 from the field, while the Pacers 2 of 16 here in the second, and they missed their last 8 shots. At one point, Indiana led by 12. Orlando up now by 11. Miller for 3. Mitchell with the rebound. Will it count? No.
No basket.
Foul coming before the shot attempt. It's on Horace Grant. So for Grant, his third.
And Horace Grant saying, I wasn't even in the play, that Donald Royal was in the area. He's saying he did, but inside position
Sam Mitchell
by Davis knocking it loose. And then Sam Mitchell actually did walk with after the foul, and it appeared that the foul should have been called on Donald Royal. He was the man in there hacking, but it's the third on Horace Grant, who fouled out right along with Shaquille O'Neal at about that 1.5-minute mark of Game 4. And that was a critical area of the game for the Orlando Magic. Grant out of the play after he went for that rebound, and referee Eddie Middleton thought he saw Grant. Should have been Royal.
Horace hears it from the crowd as he sits down. 8 points. 58-48. Orlando by 10.
And this is the tempo, the pace, the amount of scoring that the Magic like to get, especially here on their home floor. So far, the Indiana Pacers have not done a good enough job of controlling the tempo.
20 seconds remaining in the half. And the Pacers have gone 6.5 minutes without a field goal. They missed their last 9 shots. 5 seconds to go. Mitchell draws the foul with 3 8/10 seconds on the clock.
The foul number 31, Jeff
And that's
Turner.
number 4 on Jeff Turner.
Penalty situation in the back.
So 2 shots for Mitchell. Sam Mitchell 2 of 4 at the line.
And very active in this ball game. He got around the glass, has missed some opportunities to get some field goals, but getting to the free throw line, he had a quiet but effective 6 points in game 4 and 3 rebounds. He's always an aggressive defender and one of those bench players for the Pacers that just comes in, does his job for that 12-15 minutes, generally makes a positive contribution.
Orlando's outscored Indiana 32-17 here in the second quarter. Well, stay with us at halftime. Bob Costas coming up with the Prudential halftime report. He'll be talking with Doc Rivers of the San Antonio Spurs, who will go up against the Houston Rockets tomorrow night here in prime time on NBC. Doc, always a top candidate for the all-interview team, and he'll be adding to his laurels, I'm sure, at halftime tonight. Indiana 2 of 17 in the second quarter. Orlando 10 of 14 from the field.
You know, all coaches, Marv, are always looking down the road a little bit, and I'm talking about in a particular game, whether it's 6 minutes, 12 minutes. I think Larry Brown always looks even further down with this particular team. He knows what he has in Rick Smits, and he knows that Rick can sometimes be careless with fouls, and it's been his way now to take him out with 2 personal fouls, but Rick has missed some opportunities here in this first half to get some more scoring done, and what Larry is thinking about is have Smits ready, in particular for the third and fourth quarter.
All right, final seconds. Scott. Did he get it off in time? Well, the ruling was that he did off the fake. And that's the end of the first half. A first half that has seen Shaquille O'Neal erupt. 20 points in the half, 6 of 10 shooting, 8 of 14 from the line, which for Shaq is red hot shooting at the foul line. Orlando leads 58-50 at halftime. Bob with a halftime report coming up.
This is the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock.
Halftime at the Arena. The Magic, after trailing by 12, now lead by 8, 58-50. O'Neal, 20 points and 9 rebounds, just 2 fouls at the half. Miller with 7 points, Smits with 10, but neither scored in the second quarter. Each sat out much of it. Smits with foul trouble, and Miller just sat down by Larry Brown. Let's start off with a thought here from Peter Bessie.
Well, I thought the objective of the Pacers was to keep this game in the 80s, so I thought the Orlando Magic was in big trouble in the beginning because they were trying to overcompensate, get the ball to Shaquille O'Neal as much as they could because he sat so much in the last 2 games. Then Anderson got involved, Grant got involved. The biggest thing, though, is the bench outscored the Pacers bench 11-9, and the Pacer bench is supposed to be the best one or one of the best in this league.
Mr. Irving.
They were one of the best in the league. I think the Pacers, need to try to stay with their guns. They need to front run or stay close to have a chance in this game. So they need to control the tempo. They need to play good defense and use good shot selection. But the big key here for Orlando is Shaq not getting in foul trouble. If he's on the court and he gets his minutes, he's going to score, and he has 20 points thus far.
And at the half, Magic 58, Pacers 50. Let's talk about the Western Conference Series, where, of course, the road team has won all 5 games. This series is so schizophrenic that the only pair qualified to analyze it would be Dr. J and Mr. Hyde. I know you think. I know you think. All right. I know you think. Well, it's the only way it worked. I know you think that Bob Hill, who was in a tough situation trying to deal with Dennis Rodman, nonetheless, in your view, made a mistake by benching him at the start last night.
Well, I think, why make an issue at this time of the year? This is the time you're trying to win a championship. Why discipline Rodman at the expense of the team? If you're going to discipline Rodman, do it in the summer when he asks for his new $4 million contract, and you say, no way, Dennis.
He's right. The time-tested strategy of war is to divide and conquer, and the Rockets don't even have to try and divide this team. They've divided themselves, and the idea is to win the war in the long run, not win these little battles.
What should they have done then?
Well,
go on.
Yeah, I think messing up their substitution rotation is pivotal. It played right into the Rockets' hands. They like to have J.R. Reed come off the bench. He's a go-to guy when he comes off the bench. Doc Rivers, Person, Cummings. I think they should have either started Rodman or started the 11th or 12th man.
Start the 11th or 12th man? Was that Jack Haley?
12th man. That's what Red Auerbach would have done.
Let me tell you something. Starting Jack Haley in a playoff game is like letting Alfred the Butler take a swing at the Joker.
Bob, had to play 2 minutes.
Yes, Bob. Yes, you're recognized.
Bob, the idea here is to win the war. And in the end, if Bob Hill feels he's won a number of battles with Dennis Rodman and lost the war, who's going to have a job? Everybody might be out of a job.
All right. Well, somebody is out of the French Open. Back to the NBA. Some coaching moves today. The Phoenix Suns have released assistant coaches, Lionel Hollins and Scotty Robertson. Peter Vesey tells us that Paul Silas will get one of the 2 vacancies, assisting Paul Westphal in Phoenix. And Patrick Ewing of the Knicks underwent what was termed successful surgery today to remove torn cartilage from his right knee. According to the Knicks team physician, Ewing will be able to start next season on time. When we come back, we'll be joined by a former teammate of Patrick Ewing's, Spurs guard Doc Rivers, in Houston for tomorrow night's Game 6 between the Spurs and Rockets. That's after a message from Prudential and a word from the NBA. Okay, last night in the West, the defending champion Rockets went into the Alamo Dome and pounded the Spurs by 21. Olajuwon, terrific yet again. He got 42 on a variety of moves and shots. Sam Cassell chipped in with 30 for the Rockets. The road team has won all 5 games of the series, and nobody can explain it.
It's amazing. I can't figure it. I wish I could. We tried to stay in a hotel, and that didn't work, obviously, so I'll be staying at home for Game 7, which I believe there will be a Game 7. We have to respond, though.
Well, that was Doc Rivers on tape. Now, here he is live. You say if there's a Game 7, you'll stay at home, but really, Bob Hill hasn't exhausted all the options. There's always the local Y or camping out under the stars.
Well, we thought about just staying in the Dome overnight on cots. Maybe that'll help.
How do you explain this, if there is any explanation?
I don't know. I've never been in a situation where you win all your road games and lose your home games. It's funny. You play all year to get home court advantage, and then you like being on the road.
You've been around a long time. You've seen a variety of situations. What's the mood of your club right now?
Pretty good. We're on the road. We feel very comfortable right now. We like where we're at. We got them just where we want them right now.
Yeah, but I guess as the team with the best record in the league, you ought to have the option, if there is a Game 7, to pick a neutral site at this rate.
Yeah, we might do that. We might actually opt to just play 2 games here. Our dome can be easily sabotaged, and we'll get Dennis to get one of his boys to tear up the roof.
Well, speaking of Dennis, and I almost hate to bring it up, but you've seen a lot of characters, played with some and against some, but this guy has taken it to the level of an art form. It occurs to me, though, that maybe it seems from a distance to be more of a problem than it is on the inside. Maybe you guys are so used to it that it isn't as much of a distraction as it might appear, is it?
You're exactly right. Sometimes you just blow it off. When he's late, and you just move on. I think this team is above that. By the time I got here, they had so many problems with it. I don't think it's a problem anymore, with the players at least.
Well, then should Bob Hill have blown it off? Did he make a mistake by not starting him last night?
I don't know. As a coach, you got to go one way or the other, and Bob Hill made a statement early in the year that if you're late, if you're real late, you can't start that game, and so the starters have to come on time. Now, for me, I can come as late as possible because I don't start anyway.
Well, Peter and Doc both felt, that's Doc Irving, not Doc Rivers, both felt that the rotation was changed negatively by that move. How did you feel?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that is the one thing that I don't think they can get anyone better in New York, and I think that's why he stays in New York.
Doc, thanks a lot. Good luck tomorrow night in Game 6.
Thank you.
Okay, Doc Rivers of the Spurs, and we will have Game 6, of course, tomorrow night. Tip-off just after 9 o'clock Eastern Time. The Rockets a win away from returning to the finals, and Game 6 in the East is Friday night, once again at 9 Eastern Time. The Magic and the Pacers from Market Square. Right now, halftime in Orlando. The Magic leading the Pacers by 8. We send it back to Marv, Matt, and Ahmad for the second half after these messages from your local station.
This has been the Prudential Halftime Report, brought to you by the Prudential. Peace of mind. It comes with every piece of the rock. watching the 1995 NBA playoffs on NBC.
And we welcome you back to the Magic Kingdom, Orlando, Florida. The Magic with a 58-50 lead on the Pacers as we head to the second half. Let's check in with Ahmad Rashad, who is alongside Indiana head coach Larry Brown.
All right, thanks, Marv. Larry, down by 8 points. What adjustments do you make for the second half?
I don't know. I'm going to make friends with Shaquille. Did you make him mad?
No, it wasn't me.
God, he's just been really a force. You know, and you got to give them credit. We started out so great, and they just hung in, and I think their bench helped them. But the big thing, we got to rebound better, Ahmad, and we got to put more pressure on them defensively. We're letting them do anything they want to us, and we got to do a little better job of pressuring the ball and maybe moving their offense out a little bit.
The tempo is something you're always concerned with.
Yeah, I'm trying to slow us down. You know, the one thing, the way the game's being called, I had to keep Tony and Rick out. And I was getting a little nervous because it was starting to get away from us. Fortunately, we're only down 8, but we can't get in a rat race with them. They're just too good.
All right, good luck in the second half, Coach. All right, back to you, Marv.
Well, as we all know, Ahmad can get people upset. He can make people mad, but I think he had nothing to do in this case with Shaquille O'Neal. Let's check out the Middle Light halftime statistics. Hot shooting for the Orlando Magic, 20 of 36 overall. The Pacers struggling. They hit their first 10 of 12, but they have converted only 4 of their last 24.
Larry mentioned the defensive problems. They're going to have to start putting the ball in the basket, but that will happen when you have Smits and Miller on the bench. And the good free throw shooting by the Pacers at 87%, and Shaquille O'Neal, a big contributor there, 8 for 14 for the Magic's 71%.
And at one point, Shaquille hit 5 in a row on the free throw line. We'll be back with the second half in a moment. Back in Orlando, look at the leading scorers rundown. For the Pacers, 12 apiece for Derek McKee and Mark Jackson. Rick Smits played only 10 minutes in the first half, did not play after picking up a second foul. 10 points. Shaquille O'Neal, a major force with 20 points. Nick Anderson with 10. Horace Grant with 8. Anthony Hardaway with 7. Indiana led by as many as 12 as this third quarter gets underway. The Magic up by 8. And Rick Smits is back on the floor, matched with Shaquille O'Neal. Here's Shaquille. He is 7 for 11 from the field and 8 of 14 at the line.
Well, Rick Smits got hung up on the back pick set by Dennis Scott. Mark Jackson could do nothing in there. He just let Jack go.
Here is Jackson. Rebounded by Smits. Reggie Miller off the fake. Yes. Reggie Miller played 17 minutes in the first half, hitting 2 of 6 from the field, but sat for a good portion of the second quarter. Shaquille with 2 fouls. Rick Smits with 2. Here is Shaquille again. The Magic up 62 to 52.
Shaq is feeling much more comfortable offensively that time. Saw the double team coming from Reggie Miller, just spun away and shot the jumper. Shaq looks like a totally different player here in Game 5 than he did in Game 4.
Well, Indiana had missed 11 straight shots that Miller hit. They've now missed 12 of their last 13. Minute and a half in, third quarter. Anderson's pass broken up. Anderson hit the floor. Looked like he may have hurt his wrist as Jackson goes all the way. Mark Jackson protecting the ball, and he cuts it to an 8-point lead. Remember, landed on his hand. You can see Nick flexing the left hand.
Actually, I don't think it's any bone or hand damage. More the skin came off there. They have a little blood there as well.
Jackson on the recovery off the man lead pass. And Jackson takes it all the way and draws the foul. Looked to be some confusion defensively by the Magic.
Foul number 3, Dennis Scott.
Oh, Shaquille O'Neal starting out the third quarter. Got that back pick, and Rick Smits gave up on it at about the free throw line, and the help didn't come. It wouldn't have mattered anyway where Shaq caught that ball. And then a little after that, a little later than that, he had the little turnaround jump shot as the double team was coming down from Reggie Miller. Rick Smits with just 2 personal fouls in that first half, but a quick hard spin by Shaq, eluding the double and Rick Smits as well.
Foul on Scott, his second. The Pacers went the final 6 minutes 39 seconds of the second quarter without a field goal. They missed their last 10 shots in the second. This while Orlando was catching fire. Hardaway. And rebounded by Smith. 6-point lead for the Magic. 2.5 gone by in the third. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Orlando. Dennis Scott has been quiet. 0 for 3, only 2 points, both from the line. Anderson, and on a reach-in. Al Davis trying to slap it away. Collects his third.
His third first team foul.
Nick keeps looking at that sore hand as trainer Lenny Carrier trying to get some covering on there. Actually just clipped off the loose skin there. That very painful, very sore, and that is on the shooting hand.
Rick Smith gambled. Dale Davis came over, and Shaquille able to power his way. He now has 26 points.
It's amazing in Game 4. Shaq had 3 opportunities like that to dunk the ball, hit the heel of the rim on all 3. Nice move by Rick Smits inside.
Yes, a strong move by Smits. He now has 12, and Orlando leads by 6. You recall back in games 1 and 2 of this series, Shaquille had his way against Rick Smits. 32 points Game 1 and 39 in Game 2. This taking on the look of one of those games. Jackson leading the break. Jackson's pass broken up by Scott. Anderson took the hit. Foul called on the Pacers.
The foul number 32, Dale Davis.
Don Davis. Dale Davis with his 4.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal getting so much mileage out of that. Get the ball in the post, throw it back out, and then he got Rick Smits on top of him, and an easy shot for Shaquille O'Neal, and a nice up and under by Rick Smits, who had some success with that in games 3 and 4 in Indianapolis, as he has really improved his footwork and mobility, but he is having a nightmare defensively against Shaq.
Hardaway rebounded by McKee. Shaquille O'Neal has accounted for 11 of the Magic's last 13 points. Sam Mitchell unable to hit. Rebounded by O'Neal. Nice outlet for Hardaway. Orlando leading 66-58. The Magic trying to take a 3-2 lead in this series with Game 6 back at Market Square in Indianapolis on Friday night. Will be on hand starting 9 o'clock Eastern Time, 6 Pacific Coast. 5 on the shot clock. Mitchell. And it's called an offensive foul.
Well, Sam Mitchell, aware that Horace Grant has 3 personal fouls, actually had him beat, but just tried to do a little too much here to make sure he had body contact and threw that right arm to ward off Horace Grant. But Mitchell probably should have just tried to lay the ball up. He had him beat.
And getting possession. The foul, yes, and a count. And that is number 3 on Smith.
Well, Penny Hardaway never got back on defense, just got to about midcourt, and the easy rebound secured by Shaquille O'Neal, and then the easy outlet pass, and a very good pick once again by Dennis Scott to hang up. Rick Smits couldn't get over it, and when Shaq catches the ball that deep in the paint, you'll see a lot of Superman S's.
That's the slam count. 29 for Shaquille on only 15 shot attempts. He's 10 of 15 from the field. Last touch by the Magic. And Shaquille has bounced back at the foul line, 9 of 15 at the line.
Just a couple of minutes ago, Marv, I noticed Larry Brown was up talking to his perimeter defenders to put more pressure on the ball because they're just getting the ball wherever they wanted to and get it into Shaquille O'Neal. And this is against a good defensive team, the Indiana Pacers.
Air ball off effort up by Mitchell. He thought he was fouled. Scott, Anderson. Scott for three. First field goal for Dennis Scott. And Larry Brown calls for time.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Chevy Lumina. The features you want, the safety you need at an affordable price. That's genuine Chevrolet. By Budweiser, the king of beers. This Bud's for you. And by Reebok. Come see how the game is played on Planet Reebok.
Well, we're back in Orlando. Even Disney World has been caught up in the swirl of the Orlando Magic. Horace Grant's goggles making its way to the Earful Tower at the Disney MGM Studios. They love Horace and his goggles here at the arena. Horace may have been instrumental in the free throw turnaround by Shaquille O'Neal, who tonight 9 of 15 at the free throw line. We talked about that with Horace.
I talked to the big fella and I told him, you're going to get your due. Don't get frustrated out there, because when the officials see that you're getting frustrated, they're not going to give you a call. So, we as a team collectively, we're going to have to help Shaq out a lot, in terms of keeping him out of foul trouble.
And Horace able to maintain his sense of humor early in the series when he was not shooting particularly well. One of the writers asked him, said, "Who is that out there?" He said, "It's not me. That's my twin brother, Harvey."
And Rick Smits coming back with a stuff. Smits is 6 of 7 from the field. He has 14 points, 6.5 to go. In the third, the Magic up by 12 points. Good play by Smits. Passing it aside. Smits with 3 fouls. O'Neal playing with 2.
You see the different approach by Shaq. He just got tapped on the side of the head as Smits knocked that ball out. Didn't even look at the referee. Didn't complain. He has totally changed his demeanor for this game 5.
They double up. Miller over to help. Left Scott free. Now the open man is Anderson for 3. Well, that was work to perfect execution.
Well, when the ball moves that quickly, there's no way the defense can catch up with it, and it makes the perimeter shooting easier in rhythm.
And Reggie Miller able to answer. 75-62 Orlando. Hardaway played by Jackson. O'Neal with the screen. Shot clock at 6. Anderson. Nick Anderson very much back into the offense. He has 15 points, and Orlando leads by 15.
I thought Nick for a while was reluctant to shoot the ball when he skinned his hand, but he's gotten the feeling back in it.
Horace Grant with the block. And then a good reaction from Derek McKee. 77-64 Orlando. Orlando's hit its last 5 shots. They're just under 60% shooting for the night. And a tripping foul charged to McKee. That is his 3rd foul.
Well, when the ball comes out of that double team from Shaq and then moves this quickly, there's just no way that the defense can catch up with the wide open Nick Anderson. Way too late, and a nice screen set inside by Horace Grant just to slow up that last rotating defender.
Pacers with their 4th team foul. The Magic with just 1. Again, with good ball movement. Hardaway. And broken up last touch by Mitchell.
Indiana substitution number 33, Antonio Davis.
Antonio Davis making his return. Sam Mitchell will sit down. Orlando with its starting lineup on the floor. They have 13 on the 24. Spitz trying to push O'Neal off the blocks, did not work. Shaquille with a nice spin to get the position. He has 31 points.
Well, the only way you have a chance to guard Shaquille O'Neal when he's playing like this is to bump him off the block before he gets the ball. Smith tried to do that and did it ever so slightly, but Shaq is just too determined right now. He's just pulling his way right through the whole Pacers team.
Rebound number 11 for O'Neal. Orlando has hit its last 6 shots. Now Grant posting up. Scott. And a Scott going glass. Smits with the rebound. Miller on the run. The Magic getting back. Miller goes right on a couple of Orlando players. That is called for the offensive foul.
Once Rick Smith had to give ground here, and Shaq putting that shoulder in, that is not a charge. That's just incidental contact at that point, and Smith's with no hands, keeping them up not to commit a foul. Nice footwork by Shaquille O'Neal to spin back the other way. Tough call on Reggie Miller there. He felt the whistle was coming, felt contact, threw it up to the glass. He was initially going to make a pass on that play, and he got robbed out of a 3-point play opportunity.
Smith's anticipating the pass, came up with a steal, and McKee able to complete the sequence to bring Indiana within 13.
Well, that's the only chance that the Pacers have right now to climb back into this game at this juncture. The only thing the Magic are doing wrong right now is their transition defense. They are just not getting back, and they feel confident that they can come down and score every time, and that's just about what they're doing.
O'Neal, he is 12 for 17. He has 33 points. 81-66 Orlando. And Shaquille able to play free of foul trouble here tonight for the first time this series. Antonio Davis. And last touch by the Magic. Timeout is called by Orlando.
Well, a big part of Shaq not getting into foul trouble, although lots of contact right there, is at the other end, a lot of quick double teams. So that's protecting Shaq. But Shaq's footwork, as we mentioned before, has just been outstanding. And no way Rick Smith, standing straight up, could stay with him.
Ahmad Rashad back at the O-Arena here in Orlando, and Shaquille O'Neal having a big game tonight on the breakaway here, and then goes right into our cameraman, Dave Atkins. I did some research, went over and talked to him. Dave said he is all right. Not only is he all right, he said that's the greatest thing that's ever happened to him. What a sick man. Marv?
That's a sad life for Dave.
How about the way Ahmad just sat there and no help, made sure he was going to get out of the way so Shaq didn't roll over him.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal rolling over Rick Smits of the Pacers here tonight. 33 points in all, 13 coming in this third quarter. Antonio Davis is fouled.
No basket.
Antonio attempting the putback and was fouled by Shaquille O'Neal. That's his third.
Antonio Davis shooting
2:43 remaining in this third quarter. Antonio Davis to the free throw line. Not a good foul shooter. Get back to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, on the continuing saga of the pinwheel. You know that the pinwheels are not allowed, so here in Orlando, they have handed out 2,000 pink and yellow cards trying to distract the shooter. But it doesn't stop here, because I've done some research, and I think coming up in the fourth quarter, 4,000 balloons will make their way into the arena for more distractions. Marv?
Matt, once again, Ahmad just digging out those stories. What an investigative reporter we are dealing with here tonight. Horace Grant. Rebounded by Derek McKee as this third quarter winds down. Coming up on 2 minutes remaining. Miller claiming he was fouled. Looking at Joe Crawford, but not receiving any sympathy. Nick Anderson for Shaquille O'Neal, blocked by Rick Smits.
And Mark Jackson was shaken up on that last play, limping ever so slightly. But
timeout, Pacers.
He needs a little bit of a breather here, as he has played long, hard minutes, and he is a weary man. Reggie Miller wide open. He has had the gun loaded, ready to fire here. Foot on the line, and that I thought it was a blocked shot at first by Hardaway, but clearly hit on the wrist, indicating that to the officials, but not getting the call. Reggie has not gotten very many calls in this third quarter.
So Indiana calling for timeout with 2 minutes remaining in this third quarter. A reminder, tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Game 6 of the Western Conference Finals. Hakeem, Clyde, and the defending champion Rockets hosting NBA MVP David Robinson and the Spurs. And it will be all on the line for the Spurs. Rockets up 3-2 in a very unusual series. And then Friday night at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 on the West Coast. It'll be Game 6 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Shaq and Penny back to Indiana to face Reggie Miller, Rick Smits, and the Pacers. That'll be Friday night at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on NBC.
Well, so far the Magic have dominated in the paint, scoring so many points there, and I can't remember so many easy baskets, especially in this series, for either team. But the Magic have really gotten their share of them on fast break opportunities, on post feeds to Shaquille O'Neal when Rick Smits was out of position. And now the jumpers are falling, and that's why they're shooting 57%.
Not getting back to that strange series out in the West. Check this out. As you can see in the history of 7-game series, it has never happened that the visiting team has won all 7 games. In NBA history, the visiting team has never won 6 games in a series. In this Orlando-Indiana set, the home team has won every game, something that has happened 15 other times in NBA playoff history. But this is an oddity, and it could happen in the Houston-San Antonio Western Conference Finals. I see you're very impressed by that.
Well, we will continue to watch it. It is hard to believe that it can continue, but every time you say that, it happens, and it happens decisively.
Mr. Basketball saying he'll keep an eye on that series. We're just under 2 remaining in the third. Here's Haywood Workman. And back comes Brian Shaw, who just checked in and nearly coughed it up. Tree Rollins on the floor for the first time. Shaquille O'Neal sitting down. Shaquille going 30-plus minutes, 33 points, only 3 fouls. Rick Smits remaining on the floor, and a Scott off the spin. Antonio Davis had it knocked away and a foul called. It's on Tree Rollins.
Number 33, Rollins.
Minute 27 to go in this third quarter. Our previous play, take a look at the collision. Mark Jackson went down. Rick Smits got clipped. And Bob Rashad checking over at the Indiana bench, telling us that suffered a slight twist of the ankle, but Mark says he's all right.
Larry Brown looking for some offense has brought Byron Scott into the game. Ever since game 1, he has struggled with his shot, but Larry Brown is desperately searching right now.
And Haywood Workman hits on his first field goal. 81-70 Orlando. 1 minute to go in the third. The lead for Hardaway, and he is fouled. Hardaway breaking for the basket. And took the hit from Byron Scott.
Favorite little hookup here between Penny Hardaway and Byron Scott. Have run that play time and time again. The Pacers are aware of it, but just being aware of it is one thing. Trying to stop it is another, because Penny sets it up, the quick spin, and he's got, of course, the size and the reach, and a good pass from Byron Scott by Brian Shaw without enough pressure on the ball.
First appearance up the line for Hardaway. 9 points, 7 assists for Penny. John Gabriel, the Magic's director of player personnel, telling me earlier today felt that Hardaway played one of his finest all-around games in Game 4 on Monday, picking it up when Shaquille was in foul trouble and doing it in all areas. Oh, the tip! I don't know know if it was Antonio Davis, or perhaps he was closest to it.
Well, he and Dennis Scott going for that rebound. One or both of them hit it, and Antonio gets credit because he was in the area.
Yes, it might have been Scott tipping it home. 83-72, Orlando. Hardaway, and handled by Smith. We're down to 20 seconds remaining. In the corner, here's Scott, lost it. Good play by Shaw to break it up. Orlando trying to hold for one. Down to 10 seconds in the third. Magic with the ball, and an 11-point lead. Hardaway off the dribble. Hardaway to the corner. Hardaway looking for a foul call. Does not get it. So, after three, 11-point Magic lead. Shaquille O'Neal, 12 of 18 overall, 33 points, 11 rebounds. We'll be back after these messages and a word from your local station.
This copyrighted telecast of the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
The Orlando Magic with an 83-72 lead on the Indiana Pacers as we head to the fourth quarter. And Dee Brown of the Boston Celtics, a native of Orlando, putting his time to excellent use, man.
Well, played his college ball up the road at Jacksonville, and looks like Dee is trying to supplement his income with a little bit of a summer job possibility.
I think he's taking this all too seriously. Well, Shaquille O'Neal is back on the floor. It has been a sensational three quarters for Shaquille. Following the disappointment in Game 4, they double up on Spence as the fourth quarter gets started. Byron Scott continues to have his problems.
Well, the only shooter that the Magic are really worried about on those double teams on Smits is Reggie Miller. They'll gamble on whether it's Mark Jackson, Byron Scott, Hayward Workman. The only one that they want to stay home with is Reggie Miller.
35 for Shaquille. The Magic leading 85-72. Hayward Workman and Byron Scott and Reggie Miller in a three-guard alignment, along with Rick Smits and Antonio Davis. Smits with fake by Rick Smits to get the good position.
Well, normally it's Horace Grant at 6'10" coming down to double team. That'll present a problem, but Brian Shaw at 6'4", 6'5", Rick Smits doesn't even see him.
Oh, the steal by Workman. Workman slowed down for an instant, trying to draw the foul, and the Magic lead is cut to 9. They've led by as many as 15. Shaw, one-time Boston Celtic teammate of Dee Brown, the man you saw a moment ago. Shaquille with a rare miss. Antonio Davis took a shot from Donald Royal.
The foul number 5, Donald Royal.
Hayward Workman has been such an effective defensive player over the last couple of seasons with plays like that, jumping into the passing lane, putting pressure on the ball. And this is how the Pacers can get back into it right now. They have been struggling with their half-court offense. The one area where they've had some success is with defensive pressure and some fast breaks.
Indiana Pacers 0-4 here in Orlando this season. That includes 2 in the playoffs. Rick Smits. Smits showing his range, and Rick Smits is now 8 for 9. He has 18 points. It's down to a 7-point Orlando lead with 2 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. O'Neal getting the good position. Anderson, and he is fouled. Nick Anderson will go to the line.
Well, the advantage Rick Smits has as a 7'4" center, not only can play on the low box, has some nice moves in there, the hook shot, but also can spot up and drill that 17-foot jumper.
Foul was called on Antonio Davis.
Akeem and the Rockets face Robinson and the Spurs. Game 6 Thursday.
Miller Genuine Draft presents Genuine Moments.
Tonight's moment goes back 1 year, Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5 between the Pacers and the Knicks. And Reggie Miller put on one of the remarkable performances in playoff history. He scored 25 points in the fourth quarter en route to a playoff career-high 39 points as the Pacers defeated the Knicks 93-86 at Madison Square Garden in New York. In recognition of this moment, Miller Genuine Draft will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Reggie on the quiet side after a fast start. Overall 4 of 10 from the field for his 11 points. Indiana, though, showing some signs, down by as many as 15. They had cut into that lead. It's now 85-78. Orlando. Nick Anderson. 17 for Anderson, and it's the Magic by 9.
And a nice call there by the Orlando Magic on that last drive. Nick felt he was fouled in the act of shooting, didn't get the call. They came right back to a post-up to see if he could get a possible foul. He got the field goal instead.
Antonio Davis stopped by Shaquille O'Neal. Shot clock at 3. Here's Scott. Byron Scott, only 1 of 8 in Game 4. Missed his first couple here tonight. Is able to knock it down from three-point land. And it brings Indiana within 6. Anderson guarded by Miller. Anderson off the hesitation dribble. What a move. Nick Anderson going to the left hand. The Magic 89 and the Pacers 81.
Reggie Miller tried to play the passing lane into Shaq, which he did, and Nick took advantage of it.
Miller for 3. And this game is heating up. 89-84. Orlando with the lead with 8:40 much time remaining in the fourth quarter. Shaquille O'Neal for Horace Grant. And Horace, very fortunate, had nowhere to go but a blocking foul.
Foul number 45, Rick Smith.
Called on Rick Smith, and that's 4 on Smith.
On Nick Anderson on this post-up situation, just backing in on Reggie Miller, getting into the air quickly and getting that shot off, and then trying to make a pass to Shaquille O'Neal, and Reggie dropped back into that passing lane, but that opened up the driving lane for Nick Anderson.
Indiana getting back into it with a 12-4 run. O'Neal for Grant. I thought Shaquille started the game looking for his teammates. Despite the overpowering effort, he's also been looking for people.
And that was an easy read that time as the double team is coming. Shaq can read it, and the Pacers not doing a good enough job of plugging the lane.
Last touch by the Magic. Indiana will hold on to the ball. They'll have 9 on the shot clock. Larry Brown, as you can see, wants a timeout. 8 minutes to go in this fourth quarter, and the Magic up by 7.
Pacers starting to do some gambling on defense, plus some quick double teaming there, and Davis coming off the passer, not a good idea when Shaq can see Horace Grant on the cut all the way as Reggie Miller got caught looking the other way.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by the 1995 Mitsubishi Galant, filled with your favorite things. By Snickers, packed with peanuts. Snickers really satisfies. And by Miller Lite. When you've got the great taste of an ice-cold Miller Lite, life is good.
We welcome you back to Orlando, Florida. Capacity crowd better than 16,000 at the arena. Reminder tonight, following your local news, following the Pacers and Magic, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. And tonight, Jay's guests include Star Trek's Captain Kirk, William Shatner, plus musical guest Chicago. That's The Tonight Show with Jay right after your local news here on NBC. Orlando with a 91-84 lead on Indiana. It is Indiana ball. The shot clock is down to 7. 4 minutes gone by in the fourth quarter. Workman off the dribble is rejected and fouled. O'Neal and Hardaway going right at Workman, and the foul on Shaquille. That's his 3rd.
Well, Larry Brown has been after all of his perimeter players. Every chance they get into the seam of the defense, take it to the basket, and wall the board better if you can draw some contact from Shaquille O'Neal.
Hayward Workman for the first time. Indiana is 25 for 28 at the free throw line. Check in with Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marv, I'm sorry for interrupting, but I think I should finish up on this story. As you can see, there are 4,000 balloons now in the house, and it's a result of my tremendous research and leaving no stone unturned to bringing that story. And now back to the game. Marv?
You know, I never think of Ahmad as an interruption. Do you, Matt?
No, I don't know how he counted all of them so quickly.
Three-point attempt for Shaw. Kept alive by Anderson. A new 24 for the Magic. They double up on O'Neal. Shaw is open. Second three-pointer of the game, and he is becoming a factor in this series.
Well, that's the one guy that the Pacers wouldn't mind seeing shoot the ball, except he hit one earlier in this game, and that big one in Game 4, they're going to have to start keeping an eye on him.
One foot on the drive. And Shaquille able to field the rebound. 8-point Orlando lead. Just under 7 remaining in the fourth. Now McKee guarding Shaw on a switch. Antonio Davis playing Shaquille O'Neal, and a foul is called. It's on Antonio Davis.
His third.
Well, the double team inside, passed out to Hardaway, and very slow rotation on the part of Byron Scott, and a difficult one for Byron because he was the double teamer on Shaq. He had a long way to run to try to catch up with Brian Shaw.
Larry Brown now going with Antonio Davis on Shaquille O'Neal. Rick Spitz is down caught in the lane floating as Shaw fires. And a foul is called as Spitz ended up coming outside to defend against Shaw. Not a smart foul by Rick Spitz. That's his fifth.
And you can tell by the look on the face of Larry Brown. This is why Rick Spitz comes out with 2 fouls in the first half, because these will happen from time to time. Rick is trying to be aggressive, challenge the shot, but there's just no way a 7'4" player should be chasing down a jump shooter beyond the three-point line of all things and committing his 5th foul. And Rick Spitz knows it.
9 points for Shaw. Spitz will sit down, replaced by Dale Davis. Rick Spitz has shot the ball so well once again tonight. 8 of 9 for 18 points, but that is 5th foul.
I mentioned at the beginning of the game that it was so important for Rick to play well at both ends of the floor. He got off to a great start offensively, 10 points in 10 minutes before he sat out with the 2 personal fouls. And you really can't blame all of it on him for Shaquille having such a big offensive game, because it's not a one-man job. It's a team responsibility, and it's the Indiana Pacers who have not been able to come down and double-team Shaq hard enough to prevent all those points.
All right, Brian Shaw fouled on the act of attempting the three-pointer, hits 2 of 3 from the line. Antonio Davis getting position, backing his way, and the foul.
The foul, number 54, Horace Grant.
Horace Grant with number 4. The Magic standing around looking puzzled as Davis was able to get inside and got the foul call.
And the reason for the puzzled look on Horace Grant, he felt he gave ground. A little pushing ahead of time, but just straight up in the arm. Maybe Dick Pavetta saw a little bit of the midsection of Horace Grant bump, but the Pacers looking for any kind of a break right now. They don't take advantage of it as Antonio can't get the three-point play.
Orlando with a 96-88 lead as we approach 6 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Marv Albert with Matt Gukas and Ahmad Rashad. Oh! Shaw was trying to pass it to O'Neal, and it banked home. Brian Shaw was looking to loop it for a cutting O'Neal. That's the way things are going for Brian Shaw, and it's a 3-pointer for Shaw. Unbelievable shot. Here's the double on McKee. Antonio Davis. The tip by Dale Davis draws a foul call.
The foul number 3, Dennis Scott.
It's on Dennis Scott.
This is a lob alley-oop attempt to Shaquille O'Neal, who was on the other side of the rim. Mark Jackson getting his hands up late, but as you said, Mark, Bryant hit one earlier. Just a little bit of a shrug there as he's saying, sorry, big fella, I tried to pass that to you, but nobody really smiled that much on the play.
Reggie Miller with 16 points. And the Magic leading 99-90. Brian Shaw has scored the last 8 points for Orlando. Brian Shaw hitting a couple of big buckets in Game 4 on Monday. Hardaway and Shaw at the guards. O'Neal with the jump hook. Comes back to Shaquille on the back tap from Shaw. Scott for 3. Well, Dennis Scott with his second from downtown. And it's a 12-point Magic lead.
Every time it looks like Reggie Miller is showing signs of starting to get it going, Brian Shaw shuts it down.
Davis, stop, and foul. Orlando looking for a tie-up, but Dale Davis fouled by Dennis Scott.
Well, good things will happen for you as a player if you stay active, as Brian Shaw did there. Just as the point guard on the floor right now, really not necessarily should be that close to the basket in that situation, but just passing through, got a hand on the ball, kept it alive for a three-pointer by Dennis Scott.
Dale Davis only a 53% free throw shooter during the regular season. Played 23 minutes and has not produced tonight, has not scored, only 3 rebounds, having a very long night. And that is a traveling violation.
Well, nice play by Dale Davis, or I should say, Dale Davis to keep that thing alive, but wow. I don't think that was a walk. Reggie Miller's left foot. Now, we have seen him walk a couple of times in this series. When he picks that left foot up, that looked like he kept his pivot foot still.
Although Reggie accepted it in stride. 4.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Scott for 3. Oh, what a play by Brian Shaw. He has taken over in the fourth quarter. And Indiana trying to call for time, and now they get the call. The crowd reacting to Brian Shaw. 15 points in all off the bench. And the Magic leading 104-90. Well, in this series, there was no doubt that all eyes would be on Shaquille O'Neal and Reggie Miller, but teammates have made the difference. In Game 1, it was Penny Hardaway fueling the win with 20 points for the Magic. Game 2, Dennis Scott scored 25 as the Magic shut down the Pacers once again. Game 3 in Market Square, Derek McKee was the key as the Pacers won for the first time. And then Game 4, Rick Smits with that memorable last-second shot that tied the series at 2. Back to Orlando tonight in game number 5. And the unlikely hero off the bench, Brian Shaw, who was trying to feed Shaquille O'Neal on a lead, but was able to hit off glass on that fling. And then on this missed shot with the rebound and able to hit on the reverse, Brian Shaw, 10 of his 15 points in the fourth quarter. Actually 10 points the last 3 minutes and 6 seconds. Brian Shaw in his 6th NBA season, signed as a free agent after 2.5 years with Miami. Originally a first-round draft pick of Boston in 1988. And he has done the job the last 2 games. Rick Smits back on the floor. Rick Smits is now 9 for 10 for 20 points. The Magic 104 and the Pacers 92 with just under 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter.
And it's amazing. You get the feeling that this crowd does not feel like a 12-point lead is very safe. And it probably isn't with Reggie Miller on the floor.
And the lead for O'Neal. One count, foul before the shot. And that is number 6 on Rick Smits. The foul that really hurt when he got lost defensively came out to contest Brian Shaw. Fouled him in the act of a three, and that was his fifth. This is number 6.
And there were a couple earlier. Well, the first one when Shaquille O'Neal had an obvious lay, and he probably should have let him go. But it's easy for me to sit over here and say that. Rick Smits is out there playing, trying to be aggressive, and occasionally block a shot. It's an area that he's going to have to improve in. But it's the problem that Larry Brown has trying to save him. And look at all of those numbers. Oh my goodness.
Well, he was on a roll at the line, and now 9 for 17. At one point, he hit 5 in a row. Orlando by 12. Miller. That was 2-point range. 104-94. You mentioned that the fans here in Orlando do not feel that any lead is safe. Indiana has been a come-from-behind club. We saw it in the series against the Knicks, and we certainly saw it in this series against the Magic. Scott for 3. And rebounded by Dale Davis. What a box out by Davis on Hardaway. Jackson for McKee. Not able to hit on the reverse, but a foul call.
Foul number 3, Dennis Scott.
Foul on Scott, and that's 5 on Dennis Scott.
Well, the running opportunity for the Pacers. They have a situation right now. Brian Shaw is back on defense this time. It is his bent to go in and go to the offensive boards. We saw him do it a couple of times earlier. That time, Penny Hardaway was in on the offensive boards. The important thing for the Magic is both of them are reading one and the other and getting back. But still, this is how the Pacers can get back if the Magic don't get back on defense.
Well, McKee 6 for 6 at the line. He has 18 points. It's an 8-point Orlando lead. 3 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Shaw getting pressure. Finding Scott. Shaw now picked up by Dale Davis. O'Neal on the double team. Got it back out. Shot clock at 5. Here's Shaw. Rejected by Antonio Davis. Shot clock down to 1. Scott for 3. And rebounded by Dale Davis. Indiana very much alive. Miller couldn't find the shot. Antonio Davis may have gotten away with a travel. Foul is called on O'Neal.
Antonio Davis, who has been a good shot blocker, timing this, and the crowd wanted that to be called. Goaltending on the way down, and a definite shuffle move by Antonio Davis there as he was trying to muster up all the strength he could get to try to power through Shaquille O'Neal, and that's why he shuffled his feet.
Number 5 on O'Neal. Antonio Davis now 2 of 4 at the line. Only 67% during the regular season. 104-97, down to a 7-point lead. 6 unanswered points by the Pacers. 2:20 to go in the fourth quarter. Hardaway with 8 on the 24. Oh, Shaw lost the grip. Shot clock at 3. Hardaway rejected by Dale Davis. And the call last time. Apparently a timeout was taken. A timeout taken by, let's see, by Indiana. So they are able to maintain possession.
And Larry Brown and the Pacer bench furious right now that they felt that when Brian Shaw went up for that shot or pass and the ball went out of his hands, and then when it came back to him, they felt it should have been a walking call. And I think what referee Eddie Middleton is telling assistant coach Carr Hurd, it said that he just lost possession of it, that he's allowed to catch it. But once that ball leaves your hand after he left his feet, you can't touch the ball. That should have been a walk.
Yeah, it's a pass to himself. The officials thought it was deflected, but he just lost the grip. And it should have been a travel on Brian Shaw.
A travel and then a 24-second violation, and then it's what? We had the whole gamut on that one play.
Well, the Pacers turning it around in this fourth quarter. They've hit 9 of 13. They have cut it to 7 after trailing by as many as 15.
The officials can't assume here that that ball just slipped out of Brian Truss. Once he leaves his feet, if he's standing still on the ground and the ball eludes him like that, sure, you can go catch it and maintain control. Once you leave your feet, all bets are off.
Indiana with 2 timeouts left. Orlando 3 and a 20. Both clubs over the foul limit. Just under 2 minutes to go in the fourth. Miller off the dribble, forcing, coming up short, and deflected out by Grant. So it will be Indiana maintaining possession.
Good defense that time by Nick Anderson as Reggie Miller was forcing things there, trying to draw a foul, possibly get a three-point play opportunity that way.
Jackson using the pick. Jackson. And rebounded by Anderson, who calls for time. Nick Anderson in trouble, wisely used the 20. So Orlando gets it back with 1:35 remaining in this fourth quarter, and they lead 104-97. Well, this is a series that began here in Orlando last Tuesday night, a week from last night. The Magic winning 105-101, led by Shaquille, 32 points, 11 rebounds. Game 2 to the Magic as Shaquille scored his playoff career high 39-point. Dennis Scott with 25. The scene shifting to Market Square Arena, and Derek McKee with 22 points. Indiana coming up with a win. The Classic this past Monday afternoon in Indianapolis on the last second shot by Rick Smits. A very long day for Shaquille O'Neal. 0 for 8 at the line. He fouled out. And game 4 won by the Pacers, 94-93. Orlando's lost 8 straight at Market Square Arena. That includes last season's playoff clincher. And Indiana, second best home record in the NBA in the regular season. Right behind the Orlando Magic, who have won 39 of 41 during the regular season here at home. Shot clock at 6. Scott down to 2. And Dale Davis with the rebound.
I was a little surprised that time that the Pacers didn't foul Shaq on that catch.
Mark Jackson with the 3. It's down to a 4-point lead. And coming off what we saw on Monday, you never know. 1 minute remaining in the fourth. Orlando with the ball. They have missed their last 5 shots, and now the foul was given. And with both clubs over the limit, they'll be heading to the line. Here's the three-pointer by Mark Jackson to cut it to a 4-point lead.
Well, Mark had Penny Hardaway backing up on his heels, and he figured why not. He has had some success shooting threes in this series as Shaq goes to the line.
9 of 17 at the line. Well, they have the good stretch, but these misses hurting the Magic. In the fourth quarter, 1 of 3 from the field for Shaquille O'Neal. Brandon changed his position
according to where the Magic are shooting. Wherever Shaq is, he wants to have eye contact with him before he goes to the free throw line if Shaq wants it.
Well, Shaquille O'Neal missing 2 important foul shots down the stretch. It is only a 4-point Orlando lead. Miller off the head fake. Miller lost control. He had the step, the key, and taken by Hardaway. Indiana with 2 excellent opportunities and a foul given by Miller. That'll send Hardaway to the line. Indiana just looking to stop the clock.
Well, Reggie Miller on a strong drive by Nick Anderson wanted to draw contact from Shaquille O'Neal, and when he couldn't do it, couldn't get himself to the other side of the rim, but it looked like Derek McKee had excellent lay-in possibilities on that offensive rebound, and he put it right between the rim and the backboard and couldn't get it back.
Well, Anthony Hardaway, who has had his share of problems at the foul line, not able to hit. 10-0 run by the Pacers. Orlando led 104-90 with 4:19 remaining in this fourth quarter. It's now a 5-point lead, 30 and 9/10 seconds to go in the fourth. Indiana taking a timeout. We'll be back in a moment. You're watching the NBA on NBC. Well, the Western Conference Finals have certainly been intriguing. A team of the Rockets left San Antonio smiling after winning the first two games, but the Spurs, led by their admiral, went into Houston and won game 3 and 4. So what do the defending champions do? They go back to San Antonio and crush the Spurs in game 5. Tomorrow night in Houston, game 6 of their best-of-7 series. Will the road team win again, or will the defending champions make it back to the finals? You can catch all the action starting at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific time, right here on NBC. 30 seconds remaining. Fourth quarter, Derek McKee could not find anyone and decides to use a timeout, and that is the final timeout for the Pacers. 5-point Orlando lead. We'll be back right after these words.
On that last drive by Reggie Miller, we thought he had avoided Shaquille O'Neal, but watch Shaq get a piece of that ball. A very dangerous move on the part of Shaq with 5 personal fouls to stop that play before McKee missed his. Now, if you're Indiana, you don't necessarily need a 3 here, but you're going to need one along the line somewhere. They're going to look for Reggie Miller somewhere. The Magic know that. Probably a guy like Byron Scott could wind up open here.
Miller 2 of 5 from downtown. Delay of game taken by the Magic. Brian Hill able to check out the alignment.
And by doing that, they found out that it was, in fact, Byron Scott who was coming up at the top. Now Larry Brown changing up.
Indiana does not have any timeouts remaining. Half minute to go. Mark Jackson off the dribble. Try to go glass. Rebounded by O'Neal. And he was able to call for time with 22 and 7/10 seconds left in the fourth quarter.
Well, Mark Jackson, with wide open spaces, took advantage of it, had the opening, but knew people were coming, and then forced to throw it too high, really changed his shot, and then a very smart timeout here by the Magic to keep Shaq from getting fouled. Mark Jackson had to change that shot as both Nick Anderson and Shaquille O'Neal were coming over to challenge.
So with 22 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter, the Magic by 5 will be back after this from your local station. Back in Orlando, the Magic with a 5-point lead on the Pacers. 22 and 7/10 seconds to go. In the fourth quarter, it is Orlando ball. Brian Shaw is back on the floor. He'll inbound. And there's the delay of game taken
against the Pacers
by the Pacers, so they can check out what Orlando is trying to do. Shaw can't find anyone and calls for time. He just did avoid the 5-second violation. Orlando now with 1 timeout left. So we'll be back here at the arena in a moment. Reminder tonight, following your local news, it's The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, and then Late Night with Conan O'Brien right here on NBC with 22 and 7/10 seconds to go. In this fourth quarter, the Magic with a 105-100 lead. They led by as many as 15. Again, the poor foul shooting costing the Magic in the fourth quarter. Only 3 of 9 at the line. Indiana was allowed back in the ball game as they were able to turn it around. Hot shooting by Indiana, but not able to hit a moment ago. They had possession, down by 5 points, and could not convert.
We've seen both teams now have difficulty getting the ball in on slow developing plays. It appears the Magic want to get it in to Penny Hardaway.
They have 1 timeout left again. Orlando having trouble and just did get it in. Hardaway was fouled.
Well, just not enough sharp cuts. It's very difficult to set screens in that situation or back picks because there's going to be obvious switches and overplays. So what you have to do is make sharp cuts, come to the ball hard, and establish your position. But the Magic have had a lot of difficulty doing that. Now, this kind of tempo was definitely in the favor of the Magic, not what Larry Brown needed in order to win this ball game. And way too many easy baskets for the Magic, too many in the paint, and no answers for Shaquille O'Neal.
Hardaway 3 of 5 at the line. And Orlando 3 of 10 from the line in the fourth quarter. Mark Jackson is back.
Shaquille O'Neal with 35 points. Rick Smits with 20. 6-point Magic lead. 20 seconds to go in the fourth. McKee for three. It's down to three. Derek McKee hit the three. McKee going for the steal, knocked it away. This game very much alive with 15 and 7/10 seconds to go. The defensive-offensive shuffle continues. Workman checks in now, replacing Antonio Davis. Horace Grant all the way down court. And finally, Reggie Miller was able to spot him, but a foul was called. Foul called on Mark Jackson. Horace Grant was breaking, and now in a discussion with Dennis Scott and Brian Shaw, asking why did you throw the ball to me?
Well, he just wanted to get the ball in bounds. Obviously, he didn't see Horace Grant. Derek McKee loads up to bring the Indiana Pacers to within 3, and these finishers just go on and on with amazing shots. As Brian Shaw is struggling from the line.
He's a 73% free throw shooter during the regular season. Indiana with a 13-2 run the last 4 minutes. Indiana very much alive within 3. No timeouts remaining. Down to 7 seconds. Jackson for 3. And played by Hardaway. Mark Jackson unleashing the 3. Jackson had hit his previous 2. He's had the hot hand.
His second penalty situation in effect.
And once again, the Magic to the line.
And this is an automatic set play for the Pacers, looking for some screens for Reggie on the other side of the floor. Magic did a good job of overplaying and denying that pass, and Mark couldn't make the pass, decided to take the shot. Hardaway rattles one in.
Yes, he did rattle it. Orlando now 5 of 14 from the line in the fourth quarter. 3 and 6/10 seconds remaining. 108-103, and that will do it with no timeouts left for Indiana. Here's Miller for 3. Yes, at the buzzer. So the Magic escape with a 108-106 win. They were hoping that it would be easier than this, in particular with the kind of game Shaquille O'Neal had this evening with 35 points, 13 rebounds, and Shaquille is with Amal.
All right, thanks, Marv. After fouling out Game 4, you came back today and showed us some vintage Shaq Diesel. What was the difference?
I just wanted to stay aggressive, play my game, take it strong to the basket, and I did that.
What is this whole thing about everybody holding court at home? You feel like you can go back up to Indiana and close this thing out?
If we want to end the series, we need to. And we've been playing well up there, so we just need to go up there tomorrow with the same intensity, the same composure, and maybe we can get one.
All right, thanks, Shaq. Great game. All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad. So the Magic up 3 games to 2. They'll play Game 6 back in Indiana on Friday night. Tomorrow night, San Antonio and Houston right here on NBC starting at 9 o'clock Eastern. Again, the final, Orlando 108, Indiana 106. That's it from Orlando. This has been the NBA on NBC.
Where America turns for the best in sports television. NBC Sports.